Hi there. If you know someone that it seems like their marriage is highly conflicted, you can feel that something's off, but you can't come right out and say it. If opportunity provides a space for it, please forward any of my videos that might seem appropriate to her situation. Those of us stuck in this kind of Stockholm syndrome, we are blind to the difference of the attention we receive from a male. We cannot tell the difference between abuse and love. My purpose on this channel is to help heal broken feminine hearts. It's my hope that by sharing my journey of how our God took me from abused and broken to a strong and shrewd daughter of his own, how he woke me up to the reality of evil and set me on the right path of healing and wholeness, that I might be able to wake up. Even one sister in the Lord will be worth everything I do here. There's two possible outcomes with this knowledge. It will help a wife bring a feminine embodiment into a marriage that's difficult, and it eases the tension that's negative. The second outcome is the awakening that they're actually married to a wolf in sheep's clothing, and how healing will allow her to organically take back her personal autonomy from the dangerous man. Waking up to the reality that she's been living in will increase her confidence in God, and her self-esteem that's rooted in his love will grow her boundaries so that she can safely gray rock that covert narcissist out. Today I'm going to talk about how there's no command in Ephesians 5:33 that tells a wife to respect disrespectful treatment. How that teaching doesn't just blind wives a little, it actually sets them against their own feminine heart, and it keeps them in a slave condition, but they're calling it marriage. This wrong understanding of Ephesians 5 has driven fear so far into women that they've been coerced into staying in abusive marriages, all the while thinking and believing that they're honoring God by sending the message out to the world that says, look how much pain and hurt and abuse I can take. Look how much I'm honoring God. It doesn't honor God. If a woman doesn't understand her own feminine heart, it's impossible to build healthy boundaries when you're brokenhearted. Your heart is not whole. What I mean by brokenhearted is, I don't mean the common vernacular English term, her dog died and she's brokenhearted. She broke up with her boyfriend and she's brokenhearted. Or even her dad died and she's brokenhearted. This isn't brokenhearted. It's sad. It's grieving. It means you've lost something. You're experiencing a feeling of loss. When Jesus used the Greek word suntribo, that's what we've translated into brokenhearted. He didn't mean you've lost something. He meant it's something you never had, or it's cripplingly askew. If you're female, your feminine blueprint wasn't set right in childhood. In Luke 4:18, Jesus quoted about himself from Isaiah 61. He said, there's 3 different kinds of sick people that need a doctor: the poor, the brokenhearted, the bruised. Bruised and brokenhearted are different words. For bruised, he used the word thrall. It means crushed, wrecked, cracked, even shattered to fragments. Brokenhearted is the word suntribo. It means a reduction to constituent particles. To understand the difference between bruised and brokenhearted, think of it like the process of making glass. The elements used are sand, lime, and soda. They coalesce with heat or by cooling after the heat, depending on the process. So if you have a glass and you drop it, it breaks into fragments. Technically, it's still glass and it can be put back together. These are the bruised people that Jesus refers to. When he uses the word brokenhearted, he doesn't mean wrecked glass. This kind of glass, these kind of people, kind of woman that I was, never had the opportunity to become the kind of glass he wants. The brokenhearted glass are the sick people that have been reduced back to sand, lime, and soda. This is going to be really bad grammar, but the word that captures it is unput together. It's not whether you like pink or blue, whether you prefer pants or dresses. Those are personality choices that come from your soul. I'm talking about something before that. I am talking about the track that your soul runs on. Sometimes I refer to it as your schema. It's your hardwiring or your blueprint, the kind of glass you were put together as or unput together as. You don't build the glass yourself. You are built for you. From the age of 0 to about 6 or 7 years old. If your femininity is unhealed, that means you're a broken-hearted female. Back to the example of the pink or blue dresses or pants, you can't choose for yourself what you like or prefer because there is no self, only constituent parts of self. The mechanism, that part of your track to choose for self, is missing or it's unput together. You didn't lose it, and that's what makes you sad. It never was there. In a real way of describing it, you find it impossible to make a decision for yourself, by yourself, of what's best for yourself. You are always making decisions for the sake of others, never self, because there is no self. I know I love Tiger Tail ice cream, but whenever we would go out for ice cream, I would never just get 2 scoops of Tiger Tail. I always got 1 scoop of Tiger Tail and 1 scoop of chocolate, because chocolate was my ex-husband's favorite. With the way my schema was formed, it felt wrong to choose only for myself. Whenever we would have movies and junk food, I would always end up getting 3 bags of chips. Not because I was a glutton and would eat all of them, but because I literally could not choose one kind. It feels wrong to choose for self. So I guess you know what you like as far as food and taste goes, sort of. But even then, there is this overpowering compulsion that says it's wrong to like what you like for yourself. Not just wrong, not just mean or selfish to choose for yourself, but wrong, as in sinful or evil. This is why I say, heal, heal, heal. You must begin to heal. The amount of truth that you can discern about whether you're married to a difficult husband or a dangerous man is in direct proportion to the amount of healing work you've done. Only healed femininity will reflect the truth of the kind of masculinity you're married to, whatever kind of masculinity that is, healthy or poisonous. The power of your femininity can enter the scene and cut the path for a troubled marriage to start to heal. You can ease the friction if you're married to a difficult husband. But if you're unhealed, you can't see the dangerous man. You can't help your difficult marriage either. That's a first truth. You can't love yourself or anyone else appropriately. You can only share or give what you have or what you are. It's humanly impossible to share what you do not possess. The second truth, and it's a lot more encouraging, is that you can be strong again. Your feminine power can be recovered. Your broken heart can be restructured, restored, and healed. God designed us. He purposely created our femininity equal to the force of masculinity. We only became the weaker vessel relationally as a consequence of the fall, but God didn't intend that for us from the beginning. In the beginning, we were created to be an influential force. That's what the word ezer means, literally translated as a power to save. In every other example of ezer, all 19 times, it's translated with a flavor of a power to save, almost like a life jacket or a preserver of life, except when it came to a woman or a wife. They've used the words that make it sound less like a power to save so that it reads more like a power to serve instead of save. Our feminine power is definitely where it's at for us. I'm not saying females are more godlike or that estrogen is better than testosterone. I'm not, because I don't believe that. I'm saying that it's about time we understand who we are in our feminine created lives instead of being what the Christian religious organizations are telling us. Again, I want to drive something home here. We're not gods, but femininity was created to relationally stand between God and the man. In marriage, when a husband doesn't accept and bear his full relational responsibility, God doesn't accept that. Receiving and reflecting masculine headship for the relationship is the responsibility of femininity. That's what the word doxa means. It's the estimation or opinion, whether for good or for bad, concerning someone. A man is the doxa of God. A man reflects good or bad estimation about God. And a woman is the doxa of a man. When you call yourself a follower of Jesus Christ and you don't reflect his likeness, not perfectly, but in progress, you're not reflecting his image. It's no small statement that God said, "Let us make man in our image." It was for a purpose. If you're married to a difficult husband or a dangerous man, you are always a receiver that reflects the truth of whatever kind of headship exists within the relationship. So, what's the difference between healthy and unhealthy headship? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you know when your husband is just a guy that lacks knowledge when it comes to women? That he makes lots of trouble in your marriage, but not actually a toxic, dangerous man? You will feel the truth of what you are reflecting, your doxa, only when you're healed. The first thing you have to accept is that you cannot detect liars. I know, right after I said that, you thought, yes, I can. I think I would know if my husband was lying to me, but that's just not what research studies in deception have proved to us. And now, I know you just thought, well, I'm the exception to the studies and the proof. I know that you think those things because that's exactly what I used to think. I know my husband's heart. I would know if I was being lied to and manipulated. This mindset is keeping you blinded. Not even Jesus Christ himself trusted the heart of any man. Choosing Judas as an apostle, part of the foundation of the church, was proof for us to see. So if you don't accept the first truth, that you cannot detect liars, then secondly, you are creating the capacity for a plausible deniability to exist within you, in the space where a boundary is meant to be. Wolves pretend to be the dopey or difficult, inexperienced sheep. Lots of trying and effort, but always just missing your feminine heart's bullseye. Lots of seemingly effort that would speak to actually taking responsibility and ownership, the part that would cultivate connection, growth, and maturity into headship, the fruit of a healthy man. This is part of the act of wolves that dress themselves like sheep. They are trying to look like untrained sheep, guys who are clueless about females. On the front end, it's impossible to tell when you're unhealed. On the back end of the act is where your gut resides, how you feel. You just see works that seem like fruit. Works are the cherry on top of the plausible deniability. They are visible for all to see, further insulating the visibility of the wolf. In relationships, you don't experience connection through works. Works just seem like the intimate threads of love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit is where it's at when it comes to relationships. All those examples of the fruit proving the presence of the Holy Spirit are the true threads that weave the experiences of intimacy that create all the connections that build the relationship. Without the experiences of the fruit, you have a void. The void is the feeling of nothing. Jesus didn't say, "You'll know wolves by their works." He said, "You'll know them by their fruit." I paraphrased there for clarity. Then he said, "Depart from me, I never knew you." And you, dear one, if you're married to a dangerous man, you don't know him either. What business does darkness have with light? How can a wolf be one flesh with a sheep? It can't. Jesus showed us in a living example what to look for, and then he showed us how to see it when it reveals itself. You don't know your husband because he won't let you in, because then you'll see the truth of what he really is. Just like those unbelievers recorded in Matthew 7, Jesus said to them, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Do you see? As you get healed, the more the Lord restores your broken heart, little by little, you start reflecting the glory of the man in your presence, whether for good or for evil. You start reflecting it back to him. Your boundaries, as little as they are when you first start, they stop him from consuming you. And they stop you from living in the lie that you are loved by him. And they start pushing you towards the truth, as painful as it is, that has begun to set you free. So as you heal in your feminine strength and power, what you are reflecting in a real, tangible way is the truth of his masculinity. When your power reflects the truth of his unhealthy masculinity back to him, the wolf is repelled by you, and he will leave. Closing thoughts. First, shh. Don't say a word about this to him. Discovering that your husband's dangerous is a scary place to end up. It's never where you thought you'd be, and it feels like an unreality. But your silence about your awareness of what he really is, that's your safety zone. And always remember, a clueless guy that causes dysfunction and seems difficult, he's not dangerous. But the malignant man is not clueless. He just pretends to be difficult and dysfunctional so that he can hide how dangerous he is.